This is a message to my kinfolk, my black artists, and my black artists only. Listen and listen closely because I'm getting really, enough is enough. I'm getting really sick and tired of what I'm seeing both in person and online, how we treat ourselves and how we are treated by people outside of our culture. Enough is enough.
Pacha, pacha.
I enjoy going to museums. I enjoy going to art galleries. I love viewing art online. I love just art in general. But I'm pretty sure, like me, you've gone to a museum, you've seen something online where you scratched your head and said, how's this even here? How's this getting funded? I've seen artists, Roman Signer, create a sculpture of a buckets of sand stretching up to the ceiling, pulls it down, bucket falls, and that's art. Everybody's clapping. I've seen a woman slap butter on the floor with some kind of wire, and that was performance art in a museum or a gallery space. In 2021, artist Salvatore Garou created an invisible sculpture. I don't even know why I put that in air quotes, but he created an invisible sculpture and sold it off to a buyer. Guess how much that sculpture cost? $18,000. And it came with a certificate of authenticity. In 2019, we saw the creation of the comedian art piece. This is when a banana was duct taped to a wall and was sold for a lot of money. Not $2, not $5. Guess how much the bananas cost? There were three versions of it. The first two, or the first and the third, sold for around 120,000. And then the second one was purchased for $6.2 million. I say all this to say, and this is an unscripted video, like this is just me, I'm tight, bro. Like I'm pissed off because it's really annoying to see all of these things happening around us and none of my people are getting ahead. So I say all this to say, put your work out. Produce those comics, draw those characters, sculpt that sculpture. By any means necessary, get your stuff out there because look at what's happening. Look at what the art world sees and deems as worthy and valuable. When you're sitting there creating pieces based off of your African heritage, your family history, educational entertainment. This is one of those moments where we have to really come together as a community. I know we hear that word a lot, but there is praxis and pragmatism that comes with that. We should be collaborating with one another. We should be sharing resources. There should be mutual aid involved. Oh, I don't know. I don't know how to get this. No. Let's Google. And if you don't know how to Google, find, like, I don't know. Like at this point, especially with everything that's going on in this country, we need to be more tight-knit than ever before. And you hear people saying, I don't have the resources, I don't have that, I don't have whatever the case may be. I put out a newsletter every 2 weeks that displays grants, residencies, and other resources to help you get further along in your career. And there are many other sites and organizations that do the same exact thing, like Freelancers Union. Look into that. I'm not here to berate nobody. I'm not trying to put nobody down. I'm not trying to make nobody feel bad. But we also have to like get boots on the ground. I don't know what it is recently, but I've just been really inspired to be incredibly more vocal than I usually am. I've been watching Amanda Seales and Don Lemon and Mark Lamont Hill, and I'm learning that like resistance can come in many forms, and it can come in the form of art, visuals, music, audio experiences, all of it. And our art could be a way for us to not only resist all the nonsense that's going on, to fight back against all the nonsense that's going on, but to come together as a close-knit community so that nobody can come in and squeeze through the cracks and appropriate what we have and try to profit off of it. Because that's what's happening. That's what happens. I was so tight. So they had the Kendrick Super Bowl halftime show, and everybody started making fan art and videos and things like that. And one thing that bothered me that was so strange, it was a carousel of images on TikTok from an artist that I'm not going to name. I thought about putting the image up, but I don't want to rag on them, so I'm going to describe it. So this image carousel is basically Kendrick at the Super Bowl, and the images drawn are supposed to reference the Hunger Games with Katniss Everdeen, where she's got the arrow and she points it up at whoever the villain is in the movie. Instead of shooting, the opponent on the ground, she's aiming up at the bad guy, the big corporate evil entity. So in this carousel image, we're seeing Kendrick as Katniss and Drake is on the ground. And then Kendrick looks up and he sees Donald Trump, and then he starts aiming at you know who. And what threw me off is that what did this have to do with anything? What did this have to do with anything? There was no correlation between Kendrick being, first of all, anytime a white person appropriates our people, our culture, or whatever, they always misuse it or misinterpret it or don't understand it at all. The Super Bowl had nothing to do with Drake. So I don't even know why Drake was in the imagery to begin with. And why are you using Kendrick as Katniss Everdeen? Why is he the hero in your story? Why not use one of your folks? You get what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm making sense, but I hope what I'm saying is making sense. Because when I saw my people make fan art, they were making things that were joyous, celebratory, and thought-provoking. But now I see this, and it feels like they're just using this imagery for whatever reason. Oh, please come save us. We've been trying to tell y'all about all this stuff for a long time. Black people have continuously in this country been under all kinds and all forms and all levels of oppression. And now things are happening to you, and you want to use our imagery, you want to use our figures, you want to use our artists to what? Send up a bat signal? No. This is why I want to encourage everybody that can to create their own art, to put out their work. If you've been sitting on something for years, put it out. Start writing that thing out on paper. Start sketching it. Start making some sort of beat. Do something. I encourage it heavily. Creativity is important to our mental health and to communication. Art was a way to communicate. Art is a way to communicate with one another. There are things that we intrinsically know and see and understand when we are in conversation with each other through our artistry. We always say, we don't have anything. There's nothing on TV. There's no movies. There's no music. There's no books. There's no nothing. And it's like, that's not true. Just because it's not in your face doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Sometimes you might have to dig for us. Unfortunately, you might have to dig for us. I'm living proof of someone who is creating stories and narratives and characters that promote us in the most positive, non-stereotypical ways. And there's many other people like me. We have Julian Alexander. We have Morgan Nicolette. We have Oscar Joyo. We have Morgan Bassant. Those are just a few names. Those are just a few people. And there's thousands across this country alone that are painting, sculpting, dancing, making comics, animating. Yet we don't look in that direction. Somebody's asking for funding for a project. They go on Patreon, Kickstarter, Coffee, and we go, oh, what they begging for? What they need that for? Oh, that's too much. Then how you getting mad when nothing is being seen publicly in the mainstream or uplifted? What is the point? You're complaining, but you're not you're complaining, but you're not trying to fix the problem. You're complaining, but you're not trying to find a solution. When the solutions are in front of you. Even when stuff is free for you to watch, you don't watch it. Even if stuff is free for you to access, you don't access it. But it's out there. We have right now a brand new cartoon that's coming from Nigeria, straight to Cartoon Network, called Ayanu, Child of Wonder. Turn it on for your kids. Watch it with them. Watch it for yourself if you don't have kids. Kevin Hart has something coming out on BET Plus, Little Kev. It's kind of like Everybody Hates Chris, but it's with Kevin Hart. And the art style is really dope. It's really cool. And it looks like it might be fun. The voice cast looks excellent. Oh, but we don't have anything. Those are just two examples. I can go on and on. Everybody talks about not seeing ourselves in these places, but we are there. Big up the people that are actually trying and working right now. Show up to their exhibitions, come to their live streams, watch their videos, do all the stuff that you know that you do with everything else. This sounds accusatory. This sounds like I'm again trying to berate, but I'm not. I'm tired and I'm pissed off because I see the nonsense that our white contemporaries get away with and have access when we don't get even a percentage of that. Again, I just showed you and told you examples of artists that are doing the bare minimum, complete and utter nonsense, comedy, and getting all the accolades, the funding, getting rich, wealthy. 6.2 million for a banana? We have to support each other. We have to collaborate. We have to be in community. And community actually comes with communication. You cannot be in community without communication. You have to make sure that you are checking on the people next to you and around you and in your circle. Why not have a business shower or art funding party or whatever the case may be? Remember how we used to have rent parties back in the day? Like our parents' generation and generation before that used to have that? We could have that now. We could do stuff like that now. Oh, so-and-so is trying to put on an exhibition. Let's throw a party to help them fund whatever they need to get it going. Oh, so-and-so has, you know what I mean? Like those little things matter and they help. Even if you don't got it like that, connect them to somebody that do. And we got to get out this like bougie, high sedity nonsense too, bro. Like it's not even funny no more. Like a lot of what the unfortunate side of this too is just like a lot of what we end up doing is trying to mirror what the white people are doing. And we end up doing the same nonsense to gatekeep our people from getting access to these high level and high tier spaces and platforms. There used to be a gallery right here in Bed-Stuy that I was excited about. And I was like, oh, this is dope. This is for the community. This is for the local artists. No, it turns out the person that owned the gallery didn't even. I got a little flustered. Turns out the person that had the gallery, they were just in it for themselves. They weren't here for the community because they moved the gallery. And now they're perpetrating the same racist, supremacist, prejudice, like garbage, gobbledygook. I'm trying not to cuss all over my video because I don't want to get demonetized. But like, it's the same thing over and over again. This black elitist bullshit is going to end up having us go 15,000 steps backward instead of forward. Why do you want to mimic what the white people are doing? Why do we want to have the same things they have? Why not just create something for our own self? You know what I mean? Like, if you got a gallery space, open it to the community. Stop trying to be so bougie. Oh, we're looking for fine art. We were looking for very blah 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 that the white donors are gonna accept. Like, no. Embrace all forms of black artistry. Whether it's cartooning, whether it's fine art, whether it's abstract, whether it's performance, whether it's drum and bass music, whether it's hip hop, whatever it is, it should be embraced. We got to stop chasing after the white gaze, GAZE. Because what ends up happening is that we get exclusionary to our own community. And now you're leaving us with all the resources that you had and putting it in places that already don't need it. They already got it. It's absurd. And it pisses me off. And if I had the means and the funds to do so, I would create my own space for us here in the community. I would. And we would have weekly gatherings and meetings. It don't even have to be about art all the time. Just a space for us to be in and commune with each other, to plan and prep, to strategize and organize. A space for the young kids to come to. Again, I apologize. Like, I'm not mad specifically at any individual. I want us to do better. I want better for us. I'm not trying to dog nobody out, but it's just at this point, I'm tired of seeing white people and non-black people reappropriating our images, our culture, our essence, or try to attempt to take the essence. They can't take the essence and reappropriate it for clicks and views or to be popular. They'll sit there and call us ghetto and all these other derogatory terms, but then turn around and do the same thing. I saw a Korean group appropriate not only the way we dress, but our hairstyle and the way we talk. I can't remember the name of the group. I saw it not too long ago on TikTok. And it's like, how's that even possible? Why is that a thing? There's a difference between celebrating another culture and just completely taking it on as your own. I saw this is off topic, but there was a video I saw also where a Muslim woman thought the my Shayla thing that we was all saying on TikTok was us trying to say mashallah. And it had nothing to do with that. They be all up in our business, all up in the Kool-Aid, don't know the flavor. So I say this to say, all of this to say, honestly, like at this point, the praxis and pragmatism has to come into play. No more sitting around, no more twiddling your thumbs on the ideas that you have if you're an artist. No more sitting around and putting other people down for the ideas they have and things they want to do. You should be supporting them. If somebody wants to collaborate with you, consider it instead of saying no. If somebody has a funding platform they need to promote, help them promote it or fund it yourself or both. If you want new and exciting concepts to be explored, then search for it because it's out there. I can make this video 4 hours long and list every single person that I've seen in the last 5 years alone, in the last month alone, that is doing something amazing with their artistry, with their talent, with their gift, their God-given gift. But they're not getting enough views, they're not getting enough accolades because the follower counts don't mean nothing. Honestly, let's be real. Let's keep it a buck. Like, it don't mean nothing. You can have that 400,000, you can have that 500,000, you can have that million, but if you don't have the community around you, nobody's engaging and no one's actually building up with you, what's the point? The resources, the opportunities are out there. Skillshare, not the actual platform, but like sharing your skills with somebody else. If you know something that they don't, if you have a better acumen in a particular field and it could be helpful for what they're creating, help them out with it. Swap ideas. Maybe they can teach you something, you teach them something. But it's no longer should be this thing where we're all individualistic and we're trying to be like, I gotta chase the bag, I gotta chase the money, and da 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 da. Like, I do want everybody to make money. I want everybody to be able to sustain themselves off of their art. That's what I'm trying to do. I've been trying that for a long time, but that's what I'm trying to do. We shouldn't be in this struggle, starving artists category or title. I hate seeing people talk about that. That shouldn't be your moniker. That shouldn't be the thing that you're promoting. Oh, I'm a starving artist. I'm a starving artist. No. Let's go from starving to thriving. Let's be a thriving artist instead. I'm just like, I just want us, and I know my thoughts have been all over the place and jumbled, but like when I see people do all sorts of craziness in the museum and it gets the funding and acknowledgement over something that actually has some weight and value to it, it sends me off a little bit. I went to the Guggenheim years ago. I want to say like maybe 7-8 years ago. First of all, fuck the Guggenheim. But I went to the Guggenheim 6, 7, 8 years ago. It's been a while. Maybe a little bit longer than that. And because they thing goes up around like that. And on like the second level, if I could find the picture, I'm gonna put it up on the screen right now. If I can find the picture, I'm gonna put it up on the screen. It was a refrigerator with a cross on it. It was just a white refrigerator with a cross on it. No context. There was nothing else it was next to give you any kind of semblance of it being a cohesive piece. It wasn't like a recreation of a living room or a kitchen or nothing like that. It was just a refrigerator, a white refrigerator with a cross on it. And that was allowed to be in the museum. If I had the time, I would go through my entire hard drive and show you all of the things I've seen in museums that didn't make sense. So when you're done watching this video, if you've watched to the end, which I think this might be the end of it, the next step should be looking for, if you are an artist, your next step should be looking for grant opportunities, preferably unrestricted grants. That way you can use the funding for whatever you need, especially if you are, trying to make ends meet. Residencies that will sometimes offer money or stipend and a place to create. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. And then find somebody in your community, find what's going on in your community. If you're lucky enough to have a local arts community, tap into it. Get off the screen and communicate in person. If you are not an artist, find an artist to support. If you got a little extra change coming in, tax season coming in, if you got a little extra change, send them something. If you know people, if you are extremely skilled at maybe building, or you're a lawyer or whatever, help them out with putting together a stage or something so they can perform. You know what I mean? I'm just spitballing ideas, but like there's always something for us to do. The next steps should be those things. The next step should be finding ways to support. The next step should be the praxis of community, holding space for one another. Because I want us to move forward. I want us to succeed. I want us to be uplifted in ways that we have not been able to before, and without all of the gobbledygook of the elitism and people having to have this title or this acumen or that acumen. Just for us to be working hard enough should be enough. There's so many artists out there that I see working and toiling day in and day out. A lot of my friends and colleagues, Michelin Hess, shout out to her. She just had an exhibition, a group exhibition right now at the time of this video going up, which is February 23rd, 2025. There's an exhibition right now that you should check out at Riva Gallery. My friend Michelin Hess is in, and it is a beautiful, beautiful space. I haven't had a chance to go yet, but I am going soon to support, because that's what we're supposed to do, show up and show out. So next steps, show up and show out. Look for resources, help other people with resources. Communicate, be social, collaborate. That's why I do the art block, my podcast. But anyway, I'm gonna keep rambling and this might end up being like 2 hours of me just blah, 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 blah. So anyway, if there's anything you take away from this video, just talk to your kinfolk, see what they need. And if you need something, ask for it. The worst somebody can say is no. But it's still early in 2025 and it's Black History Month. I want us to expand. I want us to grow. I want us to be in abundance. And I'll do what I can on my end to help see that come to fruition. And I'm dead ass serious. So until next time, until the next video, stay true, stay safe. We out. Deuces.